for the past 6 years, there's been one show that's captivated me uh, continuously. A show that I would constantly go out of my way to watch, and that was The Office. And I'm recording this video about 4 minutes after the series finale. Um, the, the show, I know it's been on for 9 years, but I was one of the people I was late in the game to start watching this show. I started on season 3, and I I watched from there, and then I also bought the seasons 1 and 2 on DVD and watched those. And after that, I became instantly hooked to a show. This show, I have never been as hooked to a show uh, this much in a long, long time. And I was dreading going into this day, seeing the show end. Uh, and I thought for one special review, I'd do one special review on the series finale. Um, Going in, I was really hoping, really, really, really hoping, um, that this show, this would end on a good note. And but at the same time, I was really worried, um, because it's like a rule. It's almost an unwritten rule out there that all series finales end up disappointing people. There was a lot of speculation going in about Steve Carell. There was a lot of speculation about what was going to happen. Everything else, especially Steve Carell. There's a lot of speculation about Steve Carell over the past year, whether he was going to make a cameo or not. And I was really worried, it was going to follow this rule, that unwritten rule, that it wasn't going to be very good. And I'm going to be honest, maybe this will be a biased opinion or not. I haven't seen the reviews because they probably won't pop up until late today or early tomorrow, but I love this series finale. I really loved it. Although, I'll admit, going on, early into the episode, I was kind of worried. I'll explain why. Because the show opens basically with Dwight firing Kevin and Toby, and I was like, this is not funny at all. This is kind of sad and depressing. I was really worried for a minute there that it was not going to be, this was the tone it was going for. And if it was, I was like, crap, this is going to suck. And it's kind of, for the first about 5 minutes, it was kind of just not very good at first. But as the show went along, it got better. The episode got a lot better. I like the idea that they went a different route where basically the show decided to follow up on all these characters 1 year later. I like that. That was a little different, and so because of that, we saw them in a lot of different scenarios than they were in the previous episode. Stanley's retired. Toby and Kevin are fired. Andy is an internet joke basically, which is kind of funny. I haven't been a huge fan of the Andy character for the past few seasons, but I thought his character actually worked on this episode. Really did. I thought did work really well. Dwight is basically running the company like really well, and like he can't. I mean, I believe, like he said, he basically got all the major. He's a paper supplier for a lot of major places in Scranton. That's kind of cool. Oscar's just running for state senator against his boyfriend in the previous episodes. That's hysterical. Who else? Daryl or Nellie's in Europe. Went to Europe. Jim and Pam are pretty much the same. everything else, they're doing really well as a married couple, thank God. After, that, I always kind of crack up looking back at it, like this season, and how people were really worried that they were going to break up Jim and Pam. I actually laugh at that. I'm like, I knew they weren't going to do that. I mean, I liked the idea, like I said, I liked the idea that they were presenting the series finale uh, a year after the previous episode, and it made it for interesting. And my favorite revelation was Creed. Uh, Creed had an epic fake beard that was hysterical. The backstory, or how Creed was basically running from the law. Oh my god. Um, and he keeps popping up out of nowhere towards, especially at the end of the episode. I like the revelation of him popping up at the end of the episode. That was hysterical. Um, oh man, I like I said, the beginning of this show was got off to a bad start, but then it got better, relatively a lot better, and it, it flowed very well. I liked bits I really liked in this show. I liked particularly the bachelor and the bachelorette parties. The fact that they gave Dwight a stripper, and he still thought she was a waitress the whole time, and even though she was taking off her clothes, that was hysterical. I liked. Uh, I like the fact that probably my favorite joke in the whole episode was the fact that Meredith, they have a bachelorette party for Angela, and and Meredith's son ends up being the stripper that they hire. That's hysterical. That was freaking great. That revelation was great. And then, of course, the probably an even funnier part, they had followed that up, making it even funnier, where Mose kidnaps Angela and locks her in the trunk of his car. I love it. That was great. It was just like the stupid sense of humor that I loved from the show was on this episode. That was great. Um, and of course, one of my favorite parts was, I know everybody's going to be talking about this, was Steve Carell's cameo. While it was short and sweet, it was really good. It was really good and fit really well. I mean, there was speculation so much going into this episode that he wasn't going to be making the cameo. He said up and down that he was not making a cameo. I mean, it was ridiculous how much, people were denying that he was making a cameo, to the point I said about a few months ago, I was like, I guarantee you he'll be there. And like, I think it was only a month ago that rumors started speculating that he did shoot something for the show, and I was like, well, duh. And even then, they were still trying to deny it happened, and I was like, I have a feeling he would. And I was in the boat that I would have been fine if he didn't make a cameo. If he didn't want to make a cameo, that's fine. And I agreed with what he said, with the reasons why he didn't want to make a cameo in the first place. I agreed with them. I thought they were pretty valid. He said he basically felt that that character, left on a good note, and there was no point to have him be brought back. I like that, but at the same time, it was like, it also, and the one part of me also felt like, man, it wouldn't feel right to do a last episode without Steve Carell, and I was ecstatic. I mean, I knew right away when Jim told Dwight that his best man has to be older, that's the tradition, that the best man be older, and I instantly went, Steve Carell's gonna show up. Steve Carell's gonna show up. Steve Carell. And then when that revelation, that reveal was great. When they turned the camera around and Steve Carell standing in the doorway. That was cool. I liked that a lot. I thought that was a really well done emotional scene. And Steve Carell uttering that doing a great um, doing a great "that's what she said" joke. That was great. I wish Holly would have made an appearance too, but I guess he's got kids too. I wish Holly would have made a cameo along with. There's a couple cameos I wish it would have been on this episode, but never got made. Um, but yeah, I love that. Um, I love that it made sense for Michael to be there. He was great friends with Dwight, and it worked. His cameo worked. It was short. It was sweet. It did its purpose. It was a nice goodbye to the character, and I thought that was really well done. I really enjoyed that. I enjoyed some tying up some of the loose ends, like particularly one I can think off the top of my head was the reveal of Aaron's real parents. I liked that. I knew that Joan Cusack and Ed Beagley Jr. were making a cameo, and I'm like, really? Joan Cusack's going to be on this show? Ed Beagley Jr., that's really weird. They ended up being Aaron's parents. And it was a really well done reveal, I thought. I liked that. Obviously, by the way, I should have said, if I'm not going to go into... If you don't know, if you never watched The Office, you shouldn't watch this review because you probably wonder, who the hell are these characters? If you've seen The Office, and then you know who these characters are. So obviously, I would hope that if you don't know never seen The Office in your life, you would not be watching this review. So if you're really confused about who am I talking about, then just, should be watching this video. Like I said, I'm just going in my thoughts on the show. Like I said, I liked Aaron. Aaron's the reveal of Aaron's parents, their old parents. I thought that was really well done. I liked. I was unsure. There was some weird moments on this show. One in particular that I didn't. They needed to explain more was the Greg Daniels popping in at the end with when they were taking that group picture during the they took that group picture in front of the mural, and Greg Daniels pops in, and they're like, wait a minute, Greg Daniels was never part. Unless they're trying to say he was one of the heads of the documentary film crew, but they never revealed that ever. So I don't know whether that was just a random moment they just captured. I don't know. It was really weird. I thought that was weird to have Greg Daniels pop up out of nowhere. Greg Daniels, people don't know, is the show's creator. But yeah, one of the best parts about it was the last 10 minutes. Was the final interviews that they did. Each character did, and the monologue that Pam delivers at the end about about the show and everything else about the documentary, I thought was really good. I thought it was really genuinely acted. It was one of those moments. One of the things I love about this show is that when there are a lot of moments on the show that you could tell have genuine emotions, and that it's not really acting. It's actually them showing their true emotions, honestly. And that was the actor showing their true emotions. And honestly, during those last 10 minutes, you could tell those were real emotions. That wasn't acting at all. It was really well done. I loved the last few bits of monologues, and especially Creed getting arrested. I love that part. I liked every one of their monologues. They fit their characters really well. I'm really gonna miss this show. I mean, it made me sad at the end of it. It was like, man, I have nothing to look forward to on Thursdays anymore. This is gonna suck. I've been trying to find a show to get into as much as I did at The Office, and I haven't found one yet. Um, I don't know if there will be another show I get as invested in as The Office. The show was just so good because the characters on the show were great. The writing was great. The jokes were hysterical. I mean, everything. It was one. This is one of the best comedies on television, in my opinion. And this is. It should tell you I never ever got into many television shows in my whole life, and this was one of them. There's a lot of shows that I would get into like the first couple seasons, like Chuck was a good example, and then I just kind of lost interest as the show progressed. But The Office kept me going through all the way till the end, and I'm really miss The Office. This is this is just me rambling on. I don't know how many people will watch this video. I don't know. I felt I just as a fan of the show, I wanted to do this video. That was it. Um, I want to thank. I know nobody from The Office will ever watch this video, but if anybody ever could, one of them ever could see this video, I would love to thank them for entertaining me for 6 years. I've been, especially when I've had a lot of crap that gone on in my life, and even when I was having a really bad day and or having a bad week or a bad year, I could always just sit down in front of my television and watch The Office every Thursday, and all my worries would go away. I would just laugh my ass off and have fun, no matter what. I love these characters. I love this show, and I'm gonna miss it a lot. And it's gonna suck, but television's gonna suck for me for a while. So I'm gonna get off here. I'll be back, like I said, next week with my normal reviews, with Hangover Part 3 and Fast and Furious 6. But again, thank you, Office. It's been blast for the past 6 years, and for everybody who's watched these videos, I'll talk to you guys later.